welcome everybody to the May board meeting. Call meeting to order, and Mr. Nero, if you call the roll.
Brian Bagwell.
Here.
Sonny Felucci.
Here.
Terry Lally.
Here.
Amy White.
Here.
Elizabeth Johnson.
Here.
And let's start off, we'll stand and say the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the April meeting. Did anybody have any questions or changes? Since there's none, if we could have a motion to approve those.
So moved.
Amy moves,
I'll second.
Terry seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And jumping right into reports, looks like Mr. Nero's up first.
He provided the cash reconciliation, cash summary, disbursement report, the revenue summary, and the appropriation summary. I'll talk about the forecast a little bit later during that motion. And then I just want to mention that the spring settlement was received on May 6th, so it'll be more reflected in the financial reports. Unless anybody has any questions on the financial reports.
If there's no questions, we could have a motion to accept the report.
Oh, motion.
Terry moves,
A second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to new business.
Okay, we have two reports we're going to give out today. I have the athletic one, so I'll do that real quick, and then I'll hand it over to Mr. Matos. So far, we do have some of our athletics that have ended up their NE8 championships. So we have our boys track team, our NE8 championships, or champions. And then we also have the 100-meter dash, Connor Jones, 4x200 relay. They actually set an NE8 record. Connor Jones, Hunter Knopf, JD Krause, and Aiden Leone. 200-meter dash, Connor Jones, and 3,200-meter run, Brian Stanley. 4x400 meter relay, NE8 record, Logan Butcher, Camden Thomas, Hudson Moorfield, and Aiden Leone. Boys discus, Jacob Brooks, and girls shot put, Annie Lumsden. So they were all part of the NE8 championships at the track meet, and they were champions. Boys baseball currently has one game left to play and are one game ahead, so they are guaranteed to at least be co-NE8 champions. So hopefully we'll find that out soon. Girls softball, NE8 champions. Kelly Zolik, first team All-Ohio, first team Northeast Ohio. Maddie Dado, first team Northeast Ohio. And Samantha Suzanne, second team Northeast Ohio. So far that's what we have accomplished. As the seasons continue, we'll have more awards handed down from our athletics. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Matos today.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. For our elementary good news tonight, as we have an all elementary audience here with us, I'm going to recognize our staff members who are retiring. As I did before, I asked our staff to, if they had any thoughts or ideas or stories that they would like to share tonight, to send them to me. And I had a lot of people who turned stuff in, and so in an effort to not be here until 8 or 9 o'clock, I condensed some things down because a lot of the ideas were the same. So I'll go through, first starting with Sherry Lewis. Sherry's a part of all three of our buildings and wears many different hats throughout the day. In the elementary, she's been an amazing support to our students, our staff, especially to me, as we've worked through many issues, spent a lot of time together in meetings with parents and with staff. She's been a wealth of information, confidence, and guidance over the years, and her engaging tone and fun spirit will be missed. On behalf of everyone at the elementary, we want to wish you congratulations on your well-deserved retirement.
Thanks.
Next is Michelle Colettis. Michelle retired back in December. And some of the staff wrote, Michelle has such a zest for life. She genuinely loves children and they adore her. Her love of her own family means the world to her, and that is to be admired. We greatly miss your smile and laughter. Michelle stands out as one of the most versatile members of our South Range family. I'm not even sure if I can list all the hats she's worn. It didn't matter where she was assigned each year because God blessed her with the unique ability to roll with whatever came her way. One year, she would be working as a lunch and recess aide, and the next, she'd be loving and inspiring a child with special needs. The children adored Miss Shelley as she encouraged them to be kind and gentle with one another and instilled her own work ethic in them. Without a doubt, Michelle is the master at finding special talents and goodness in all who are blessed to be in her life. Michelle filled our school with sunshine and laughter, and her friendship has touched many lives. So congratulations to Michelle on her new phase of life, and we hope she's enjoying her permanent weekends on the beach. Next is Tammy Haig. Tammy Haig has been a dedicated member of the elementary staff for over 15 years. Starting out as a student aide and then moving into her Title I position, Tammy is loved by both her colleagues and students. She displayed integrity and strong work ethics. She was professional and worked diligently to provide support for the needs of teachers and students. Tammy is always ready to lend a helping hand and keeps the Title I department running smoothly through her meticulous attention to detail. It was a true joy to work with you and see your devotion and kindness to our students and staff. You were always willing to go above and beyond to help us with anything we needed. The individual attention you gave our students meant so much to them academically and emotionally. Your kind smile and gentle demeanor makes all those in your presence feel welcomed and valued. Never has there been a more compassionate and caring person than Tammy Haig. Tammy will be greatly missed here at South Range. We wish her good health and much luck in the future. And finally, Mrs. Yoder. Patty is blessed with the voice of an angel and has continued to plant songs in the hearts of her students. Patty's breaking out into song in her classroom was so much more than just fun. She also taught important life skills through music. Music and movement helps children make important connections that result in lifelong learning. So who needs Go Noodle when you have Patty Yoder? In the early 90s, Patty was hired at South Range to teach first grade. Patty teaches thematically, so each month her students become expert on things such as animals, plants, and even our country. She has a special talent for connecting everything she teaches to the real world. Children are inspired to dig deep into the curriculum and make connections necessary for success with future learning. On the last day of school every year, the elementary teachers line up and wave goodbye to our students on the buses. Best day of the year. We would always say, it's not over until Patty sings. Through the years, Patty has sung many songs on that day, and even if no one can sing as well as she can, we promise you we will continue this tradition. Patty has such a passion for teaching. Any student that has the great opportunity to have her as a teacher will remember her beautiful singing voice. Patty's vast experience and stellar vocabulary is unmatched. Patty Jo was infamous for bringing life, love, and laughter into the lives of her first graders while holding them to standards of excellence. Our rooms were right next to each other for over 13 years, and one of my fondest memories was daily hearing her voice lead her class in songs. Her strong yet beautiful voice would reverberate through the halls of the elementary. Her wisdom extended beyond academics as she often shared life lessons with her students, desiring to mold them socially and emotionally. Her encouragement to students, parents, and staff was heartfelt. When my son was about to enter first grade, he said to me, "I want to be in the classroom of that singing teacher." The best decision we ever made. He was blessed with so many wonderful teachers during his time in elementary school, but I feel with my whole heart that Patty Yoakum started his successful journey with learning. Thank you for your love and devotion to our students and staff. I'll never forget the first time I walked past your room my first year in the old elementary building when I taught second grade and heard you singing to the kids. I took the same route every day to the office just so I could hear you sing. I remember it like yesterday when your sweet daughter Megan walked into my room on orientation day at the middle school and you gave me a big hug and said, "Megan, look how lucky you are to be in her class." Well, I was the lucky one to have both your sweet girl and precious granddaughter Macy. Thank you for serving alongside me on the rep council and teaching the young teachers how important it is to stay involved and informed. And finally, from Mrs. Hall. Where do I begin? What words can I use to describe my partner in crime and best friend? Patty is one of the most gifted teachers South Range has ever had. Just walk down the hall and you can hear her. What a singing voice. Kind of see a theme with all that. Listen to her read a story to her class, and you hear a book come to life. She can hold her students in the palm of her hand. She is creative and enthusiastic in all areas of her life. Everyone around her knows how easy it is to become her friend. If something is wrong in your life or in your world, all you have to do is go see Patty. She always has a comforting word or a prayer to say with you. Her faith is very strong, and she is always willing to share it with you in a loving way. Working with Patty for 25 years is a joy. What one of us didn't think of, the other always did. I always look forward to my days in the classroom, and much of that had to do with working with Patty. We sure were a team, and I hope that continues as Patty enters the world of retirement. South Range Elementary will miss Patty Yoakum. So many students were lucky to have had Mrs. Yoakum as their teacher. I know they all cherish their time with her and will always remember that first grade teacher. That teacher, Mrs. Yoakum, who taught them to sing with joy and love to learn every single day. She has been and always will be one of the most beloved teachers at South Range.
Oh my.
Good luck to you, Patty Yoakum. I know you will enjoy your much-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Steve.
And even as we're saying the pledge, I can almost hear it being sung. It's her voice.
You know what I sing on that last day of school? Kim, we could break it. No.
Well, thank you, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Matos, for sharing that. That was wonderful. I know my short time here, I've been blessed to get to know you and
Thank you.
work with Mrs. Lewis and everybody who's retiring. Kate had a little bit of time too, so I was glad to see you come back. So thank you for all your service to the kids. You will be greatly missed. The next board meeting, we'll do the high school. We decided it was better to separate and allow to honor kind of everybody to be able to come in and focus on things. For me, I have just a few things. We have, just to make sure our community knows, we are having our graduation on May 28th at 6 p.m. It is here in our gymnasium again. We'll be returning home. Last day of school is June 2nd. I also want to mention I will be doing a one call regarding our off-campus safety drill. We kind of waited until we knew everything was good with COVID and didn't want to just crowd everybody on the buses. So we will be doing our safety drill for the year on the 20th, which is this Friday, where we take all the students off campus. So if there's ever a threat on campus, if we have a location off that we take all the students to. So I'll do a one call for that on Wednesday. Just kind of also I'm gonna put out some information looking into next year about, still needing substitutes and instructional aid substitutes. So we'll be advertising for that. And then we're very fortunate at the moment. We have 3 individuals who reached out to us and we are training them. So if anybody's interested in being a bus driver, we are working to train them. We can help you through the class and driving hours here on site. So we will work with them. We'll need some substitute for bus driving. So we are also going to be seeking out some more individuals for that. So I'll give out some other information as we go through the agenda.
So Sadie, my daughter Sadie, has Mrs. Yoakum, and she was upset that I didn't bring her tonight. But she wanted me to pass on that she says that you have the best singing voice, and you are the best at reading aloud, and she's going to miss you very much.
Oh, I love my Sadie
So
girl.
he says that.
She's so precious, and she is an Elvis and a Dolly fan. So we definitely come on.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm okay with fostering those relationships. That's all I get to hear at home, but that's all right.
Mr. Bagwell, I forgot to, I believe Ms. Johnson had
Oh,
something
yeah.
she was going to report
Oh, for legislative, the state board has approved a dyslexia guidebook, and this can be found on the ODE website.
And I already shared with her, Mr. Matos and Ms. Lewis already have gotten together and created a committee for the elementary. It's kind of tiering up through the grade levels where everybody will eventually be trained on all of this. So they are already kind of set and worked on some plans, waiting for this guidebook to be finalized. So we will move forward with professional development to make sure the staff has all the requirements that are required in the handbook, as well as making sure our assessments. So we'll continue moving forward with that. And then, Mrs. White, do you have anything?
No. Okay, so moving on to the agenda items. Mr. Nero, I think the first one is yours, the forecast.
I just wanted to highlight a few of the areas on the forecast, because there's a lot of changes with the new state budget formula. The major things with the open enrollment funding, there's no longer open enrollment funding, it's all part of state funding now. It's all, every kid's treated as a residential kid, so there's no separate line item. So you'll see the previous line 1.06 where open enrollment funding used to be, now it's included in lines 1.035 and 1.040. And you can kind of see the corresponding decrease and the corresponding increase in those line items. And also on the expenditure side, the purchase service will also go down, so we'll no longer have that expenditure too. So the net effect for the district was, net zero considering those factors when it came to funding. And also with our state fundings, we're on the guarantee, so they're going to phase it in over 6 years. So each year will be, as they phase in the calculation of the new formula, will gradually go on the guarantee more and more. So as a district, we just need to pay attention to the legislation, and as each biennium, when the new budget gets passed, how are they handling the guarantee each year? The only time they ever touched the guarantee was 2 budgets ago, where they touched, they looked at everybody's enrollment. And if you lost so much enrollment, they took a certain percentage away from your guarantee. So there's just things to keep an eye on as each state budget goes through to see how they're handling the guarantee and reach out to the legislators if we need to. And then just most of the other line items, just kind of look at past history, what we're currently in place. So the collective bargaining agreements, insurance rates kind of forecasted through based on past history. Health insurance, the last 3 years, average roughly 9% increase each year. I know we've had some high claims the last couple of years and recently too, so I expect that insurance to continue to rise. So that's something that we'll have to pay attention to. And then also with the collective bargaining agreement, we'll negotiate in a couple of years. So those are just two the main highlights of the forecast. Unless you guys have any other questions you want to need to elaborate on.
How does the open enrollment changing to attendance affect the district? As in, are we going to be losing since it's not considered open enrollment now, or?
No, it's all considered. Before they used to do it based on kids that lived in the district.
Okay.
So the only kids that affected our state funding were the ones who lived in it. So our enrollment was higher, but our ADM was actually lower.
Okay.
Because we had more kids coming in than going out. Now it's just looked at enrollment. We looked at our average enrollment the last 3 years. So that's where if you look at the financial reports, they included our open enrollment kids into our total enrollment in those calculations now with the updated reports.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Board policies, there were a few on here. Majority of them were little words, as you noticed. Some legal changes of how we code things. College Credit Plus was kind of one that will impact some of our students. If they are 18 when they're taking a college credit class within 30 days of their birthday, if they're male, they have to register with the selective service. If they do not, they can actually lose the position of being able to take that class. So for some reason, they're now trying to make sure kids register, the boys register when they turn 18. They're using this as kind of a way to do that. So that is a new policy requiring them to register within 30 days of their 18th birthday to maintain their CCP. Blended learning, the big change with that one was, if you remember, everything was about remote learning. They added a line in there saying that if we were to have to do some kind of blended learning for the younger children, we could do paper pencil instead of sending a Chromebook home with them. So a lot of schools were doing that. Now it's in the policy that it's okay to do that. Dress code, some of that is revised just to include some wording changes as well as building level, building site. Again, some basic things. The weapon policy talked about changing some of the wording, including some different explosives, other objects, dangerous ordnance, instead of just saying guns and knives, so they kind of expanded it a little bit more. The grant fund policy update included they've expanded some of the other things, but one of the things they're starting to do, all the ESSER funds that we receive, so a lot of these policies that have to do with finances and federal funds and procurement included all of our ESSER COVID money. So they're changing some of those. That goes along with the procurement policies and the cost policies. For the procurement policy, they lowered the threshold, so now if it's less than $2,000, we do not have to go out to bid and do
Bid or construction
like
services.
a public bid and do the prevailing wages. If it's 2,000 or more, we now have to. So they lowered that greatly for federal funds. Some of the other things, again, most of them were like a wording change due to legal wanting to change something. Did you have any questions on any of them? Okay. The next thing on the agenda is the rater care. That's just continued approval that we will have our rater before and after care here at the district for next school year. Drug and alcohol testing, every year we have to approve that we will do the random drug and alcohol testing for the non-academic activities. Approve that the next one would be the technology initiative and the fee. So this past year we sent home and we did the technology initiative fee. So I uploaded, there were just a few changes. We did grade band changes. We removed the word of case because we didn't mandate the case. We also talked about the power cord. Every student will be issued one, and they are responsible just like for the computer to return it. Unfortunately, they are like $50 to replace, so that's the fee on them. And then for repairs and maintenance of computers for technology, that's the $15 fee, K-12 for next year. And then the Medicaid school program service. So our speech, our OT, our nurse, and school psych, thank you, Sherry. They're able to bill into Medicaid for related services. So if you're a student on an individual education plan, parents sign off, they're aware of it, but we submit for reimbursement. Each of them can do that. And the company that supports us is Healthcare Process Consulting. So this is just agreeing that we're going to maintain a contract with them. There is a fee that they do their auditing through it, they do the collection, the reimbursement, but the fee that they charge us is minimal compared to the amount of money we get reimbursed for these services. Purchase orders.
Yeah, as well as just continuation, just evaluating certain amounts. And as we get closer to the year, that some of the services proceeded our purchase order date, so we just had to get approval on some of those purchases.
And then the next one, every year we do the library discards, so I'm asking for the board to approve the list that I provided you. Ms. Buczynski goes through, takes books out of cycle rotation that aren't being checked out, and we'll replace them with newer books to keep kids reading. Approve the date change for June board meeting. I believe I've written out to all of you, June 29th at 3:30 here in the library will work for all of you. Next one, approve the transfer of funds. Last board meeting, Mario asked for you guys to approve the creation of the Termination Benefits Fund, which will allow him to move some money out of salaries into that for when people retire and they separate with us, and that's the severance payout. So that'll help him with his budget to truly show salaries and benefits. So this is the actual moving some of the money into that account that you already approved. Working with our youth program, we have come to an agreement with the area youth soccer club. They will be using the fields on the south side of campus here, just below the middle school practice field. So they will be doing a lease with us, just like we do with the Little Raiders. They'll maintain the field, they'll stripe the field. They've got, I gave you guys the map. It's the lower section, and then they'll park in this upper section for that. So it's no cost to them. They are fully maintaining all of it. The only thing that's tweaked in there, they can't do a permanent structure, so they do have their concession stands, but it's mobile, so it can be moved if we want it moved. So they can't build on the property. Non-representative employees compensation, so anybody who is not represented by either of the associations or through the agreement to also receive the 1.95 increase for next school year, excluding Mario and I. And that would be it. That would be the agenda. Any questions on any of those?
I'll just ask the Medicaid school program service, I think we talked, and you said that provides us some protection as well.
Yes, they do the audit for us. They actually will send Sherry and everybody a list of students, and they verify that they are actually on student with special needs, signatures are up to date, everything has been signed, and that the service was provided. So for auditing, when the state auditor comes in, having that is a much better way because they're able to see that we're with them, they've done the audits, everything's done, so they're not also digging into it and doing it.
Thank you. If there's no questions at this time, we'll move to public participation for the agenda items. So if anybody would like to speak, now's your opportunity. Okay. I'm guessing there's no non-agenda items, public participation? Yeah, just fire right on through that. We'll go back and go through these items. For the adoption of 5-year financial forecast, you have a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Amy moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The board policy consideration changes, they're all listed there.
I'll move.
Terry moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Rater before and after care program,
So moved.
Liz moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The drug and alcohol testing,
I'll move.
Shelley moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The approval of the technology fee,
So moved.
Liz moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The Medicaid school program service agreement,
I'll move.
Terry moves.
Second.
Liz seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approving the blanket POs and the orders down below,
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approving the list of books to discard from the library,
So moved.
Liz?
I'll
Liz
second.
moves. Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the date change for the June meeting to June 29th at 3:30 PM right here.
So moved.
Liz moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the transfer of funds.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Shelley seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the license agreement for the South Range Soccer Club.
So moved.
Liz moves.
I'll second.
Amy seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The non-represented employees compensation,
I'll move.
it's a tie. We have Terry with the motion
I'll
and
second.
Shelley.
Yep.
Shelley with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And those are all the agenda items, so we're to the board or the superintendent update. Everything? Oh, they wrapped it up? Okay. So, okay, we don't need to go to executive, it looks like. So we can move right into personnel.
Okay. So for this school year, Chris Condes was a daily sub prior to Christmas. He had, went south for a little bit. He has returned, so he's here every day, so just board approving to restart him back as a daily sub for the rest of this year. Next school year, Lori Lindquist will be an itinerant custodial assistant. She'll be here as needed to help out during lunch and recess in the cafeteria. And then, if you guys remember a while back, we had posted for a nighttime custodian. So Dean finally found a very good candidate. So I'm asking that the board approve Corey Williams as a custodial assistant at night. He'll be placed on step 0, years of 0 experience, and his contract actually will start July 1. And then for a 2-year limited classified contract, I forgot to add them last time, Doug Wilson, bus driver, and Austin Poseska as a bus aide. And then we had a few changes due to retirements and people moving around. So Allison Zwingler will be a Title I teacher for next school year. She is on a 2-year limited, but it is a full-time Title I teacher. Kelsey Malenic's salary will be adjusted to 0.6 Title I, 0.4 tutor. Madeline Caputo, in reviewing contracts, her contract mirrored a classified contract with some things in it, so she and I met. So I'm asking to adjust her days down to 186 and then actually remove the holidays that the classified get. So she and I met, and she was good with that. And then accept the resignation of Elaine Highland, instructional aide, effective July 7th, 2022. She's helping out with Success After 6. Okay. So, and then Heidi Williams, this year she was one of our Title I, or our tutors at the middle school with our COVID ESSER money. So she will return next year again to do some support at the middle school for tutoring. And then Corey Williamson, so if you remember, and I have him here below, Dean moved a few people last time, we're doing 3 more again this time. So Corey being new, we're gonna have Corey start in June as per hourly rate. He'll be able to get his feet wet, know exactly what he's supposed to be doing at night, but also help with the summer cleaning. And then if you see rescind Julie Binder, Jeanette Schneider, and Lori Strabala, they won't be working this summer. And then the following 3 finally got their fingerprints and stuff. So Michaela Kirsten, Trent Adams, and Michael Bizdos will be intermittent helping out when people are off on vacation. They'll flex in and help out with cleaning. Approved payment of $100 compensation to Julie Senafani. She was here for the 7th and the 8th grade concerts with Kim Bizdos and other people, and she played the piano, so that's to compensate her for her time during rehearsals and then while she was here. And then Allison Carochi and Amy Shane are our varsity cheerleaders, but they came and they're running the middle school cheerleading camp and then judging and scoring, so asking for compensation for them for a little bit. And then approved Tammy Whitmer and Lacey Kramer, bus garage summer workers. Lacey Kramer is also going to be moving to a tier 2 bus driver next year due to a retirement. Approved the following success by 6 teachers, aides, and nurse. So Susie Polianis and Courtney Kane will be teachers. Substitute will be Rayanne McDonald. And then the aides will be Lisa Stiliano, Jen Frank, Carla Bear, Andrea Seidler, and Courtney Moore. And then Kim Peterson will be our nurse for that program. And just a reminder on that program, we're reimbursed for that through United Way. So that's supported through the United Way that program runs. And then there's a list of all of our athletic supplementals. Did anybody have any questions on our list? Majority of them are the same returning coaches that we had from prior years. And then below that are the extended time contracts. These are for our guidance counselors, our librarian, our career connections, bands, special education teachers, title teachers. They get extra days to be able to do some of the compliance work that is required, or for instance, our counselors, they do a lot more scheduling, they're here with testing, they're doing a lot of other things throughout the summer, so that's what those extra days are for. Approve the mentors. Brock Miller, again, will be our lead mentor. And then Brock, Angela Rosen, Sarah Fischel, Courtney Chandler, and Jennifer Amendola are our mentors, helping out our new teachers that have been hired over the last 2 years. Event Replacement deans, Kristen Scott, Anthony Foster. Saturday morning detention, Mark Easy, Lisa Toy, and Angela Rosen. Those are our first ones, and then we do have one at the bottom that I did remove from the supplementals, Nathan Toy, so that we have that separated. Any questions on any of those?
Okay, there's no questions on that. We would entertain a motion to accept that first list of personnel.
I'll move.
Amy moves. Liz, trying to find my spot here. This is it. Liz seconds. And then Mr. Nero, if you call the roll, please.
Amy White,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Shelley Calucci,
Yes.
Terry Lau,
Yes.
Brandon Bagwell.
Yes. And then on the separate personnel for Nathan Toy, if we could have a motion to approve his assistant football coach position.
I'll move.
Shelley moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. And if you please call the roll on that one.
Shelley Calucci,
Yes.
Terry Lau,
Yes.
Elizabeth Johnson,
Yes.
Amy White,
Abstain.
Brandon Bagwell.
Yes. Okay. And if there's nothing else, just again, like to thank Mrs. Yocum, Sherry, Michelle and Tammy for all your years of service, and you'll certainly be missed. We appreciate it very much and wish you a very happy retirement. So I think that's all we have for tonight. If we could have a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Amy moves.
I'll second.
Terry seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month.